Good morning, dear one. May your morning be filled with peace and the love of Christ. Whether this is your first time joining us in prayer, or you've been walking with this grace-filled community for many mornings now, I want to welcome you with arms wide open and a heart full of gratitude. This moment isn't random. You didn't stumble upon this video by accident. God Himself, in His perfect timing, orchestrated this divine appointment just for you. You've just entered a sacred space. This isn't just a video playing on your screen. This is an altar, a place of stillness and strength, a holy ground where your spirit meets the one who holds all things together. Somewhere deep within, you feel something that needs to be surrendered, not because you're weak, but because you know you're not the one who holds it all. That's why you're here, to give the very first part of your day to the one who truly deserves it. Before you think, before you plan, before you rush into all that awaits, you pause to hand over the keys to your mind, your pace, your emotions, your unknowns, and you're not giving them to a habit. You're giving them to your Creator. O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly. Psalm 5-3. This isn't just a beautiful verse. It's the breath of a soul that trusts. It reminds us where to begin, not from a place of control, but from a place of surrendered faith. When you present the beginning of your day before the Lord, you're doing something powerful in the spiritual realm. You're stepping down from your throne and inviting God to sit on the throne of this day. You don't need to say much. Just speak from your heart. Lord, I don't know what today holds, but I know I don't want to start it without you. There is power in that simplicity. There is protection in that humility. Because God doesn't just give us words, He gives us His very presence. And it's His presence that makes the difference between a day full of pressure and a day full of grace. If you've ever started your morning without inviting God in, you know what it feels like. The chaos of thoughts takes over easily. Wounds of emotion sneak into every decision. But when you choose to place that first prayer like a covering over your soul, everything shifts. You're no longer moving by instinct, but by divine direction. You no longer react out of fear, but respond with peace. And it begins right now, right here, with a heart that says, Lord, today belongs to you, not to me. Maybe you're carrying a lot of things you haven't said, things you've kept hidden. But God doesn't love you because you have it all together. He loves you because He chose to, before you ever gave Him anything. And this morning, while you're still waiting, He's already listening. Before you know what to pray for, He already understands your heart. Before your plans unfold, He's already ahead of you. So let this moment be the beginning not of perfection but of surrender. Don't hold on to the keys. Place them into the hands of the one who never loses His way. When you do that, it doesn't matter what lies ahead. You can walk in confidence, knowing you're not walking alone. You're not in control. You're being led. And the one who holds the keys today is the same one who has opened every good door in your life. Let Him do it again. Starting this very morning, there is a special door that leads us into the presence of God. And that door doesn't open through effort or deep understanding. It opens through something that seems simple. Gratitude. Gratitude doesn't depend on how you feel, on your circumstances, or on the outcome. It doesn't wait for life to be perfect. It doesn't hold off until the pain passes, or until your prayers are answered. Gratitude is a spiritual choice, the posture of a soul that chooses to look up to God, rather than focus on what's happening around it. It's how you open your heart not to demand, but to acknowledge, Lord, you've been here all along, even when I didn't see it. The Bible doesn't say give thanks only after everything works out. It says give thanks in all circumstances. Why? Because gratitude is more than words. It's the key that unlocks the atmosphere of divine presence. Every time you choose to give thanks, you push back the shadows of complaining. You resist the lure of bitterness, and you begin to build a dwelling place in your heart for God to abide. Have you ever noticed that we often wait for the miracle to happen before we give thanks, but some miracles only unfold when we begin to give thanks first? Gratitude is not always the result of blessing. Sometimes, it's the very beginning of blessing. Where there is a thankful heart, there is humility. And where there is humility, God pours out more grace. Maybe you're in a season you wouldn't have chosen. Maybe you woke up today with questions that have no answers yet, but you can still say to the Lord, "Thank you." Not because everything is easy, but because you are still in control. When you say that, you're not denying the pain. You're placing it under the authority of a good God. Gratitude doesn't make the pain disappear. It keeps the pain from ruling over you. It helps you see beyond the struggle and say, "Even when I can't see the way forward, I know you're leading me." And it's in those sincere moments of thanksgiving that God's presence becomes the most real. Sometimes, you don't need a surge of emotion to begin giving thanks. You just need a spiritual decision to open your mouth. Thank Him for the breath still in your lungs. Thank Him that today, your name is still written in His mercy. Thank Him that even when your heart is tired, your faith is still alive. Every word of thanks you speak does not disappear into the air. It draws a path through the chaos for God's peace to enter. Some things may not change right away, but your heart will begin to shift when you give thanks. Your mind resets, your breathing slows, your eyes lift up instead of looking around. That is the moment you enter His presence, not through some complex ritual, but with a simple whisper, "Thank you, Lord, that you are still God." That one sentence, however small, is never meaningless. It's the sign that your heart is still tender and your soul is still reaching for the light. And when His presence surrounds you, no darkness can linger long, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, there is healing, there are answers, and sometimes, even the sacred silence your soul has been needing. So don't wait until you feel happy enough to be grateful. Don't wait until every problem is solved before you give thanks. Start now. Say one thing, then another, then one more. Each word of gratitude is a brick laid down in the shelter you'll need when storms come. And it's in that place, right there, that you'll encounter Him not through your natural sight, but through a deep awareness. You are here, and I thank you. That isn't just a passing emotion, it's a lasting spiritual connection. It's not something you do to feel better, it's something you do to enter the best place of all, the place where God is. And once you're in Him, nothing can pull you away from that peace. There are seasons in life when you have no idea what strength is keeping you going, because everything you trusted in seems to be falling apart. You see no results, you feel no progress, and if you're honest, you're not even sure if God is still listening to your prayers. But one truth remains firm. No matter how shaken your circumstances may be, hope doesn't come from what's happening around you. It comes from the one who dwells within you. Psalm 42:11 echoes the voice of a soul in the middle of a battle. Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God. This is not just a poetic phrase, it's a sacred call. When everything outside feels unstable, that's exactly when you need to speak to yourself. My soul, put your hope in the Lord. Because real hope doesn't rise and fall with the winds of life. It is rooted deep in the solid ground of His word. If you feel weary not from a lack of effort, but because hope has been quietly slipping from your heart, then right now, I want you to know you're not alone. Hope is not a vague, positive feeling. Hope is a spiritual power. It is the small flame that still burns in the darkest of nights. It doesn't require you to understand everything. It only asks you to look up, because real hope doesn't say, "If things change," but, "Even if nothing changes, my God remains the same." Maybe you're standing in the middle of promises that haven't yet come to pass. Maybe you're waiting for a miracle. Maybe you've prayed so long that at times, you don't even know what to say anymore. But listen to this: hope does not die in silence. It is reborn every time you dare to whisper, "I trust you, even when I can't see." God doesn't require you to be strong all the time. He simply asks that you keep turning toward Him, even when your heart feels like it's bleeding. And when you do, something sacred begins to happen. You stop collapsing under what hasn't happened yet, and you start standing firm in the one who never changes. Hope is not wishful thinking. Hope is choosing to believe that even without visible signs, God is still at work. It's believing He's moving in the dark, arranging good things behind the curtain your eyes can't yet see. It's believing that no tear is wasted, no prayer goes unheard. And most of all, it's believing that He has never forgotten you. Don't let your circumstances strip you of the holy expectation inside your heart. Hold on to hope the way you hold on to breath. Let that expectation become the steady rhythm of your spiritual life. Because when you place your hope in God, you take your stand in a spiritual position that darkness cannot reach. Just because you don't see anything changing doesn't mean nothing is happening. God is still moving quietly, but surely, step by step. And there will come a time when the hope you held on to in silence will bloom into visible, undeniable faithfulness. The presence of God doesn't always come in radiant moments. More often, He comes in the trembling minutes of your soul. Not to shame you for being afraid, but to gently remind you that He has never left. He doesn't wait until your worries subside to show up. He steps into the very place where fear is shouting loudest, and He whispers, "I am here." Maybe you're standing at the edge of a big decision. Maybe there's a vague but undeniable fear lingering in your heart. Maybe you don't know what tomorrow holds, or what outcome is waiting for you. But you know this: when fear grows louder, the need for His presence grows deeper. And God knows that. That's why He doesn't send you a theory. He sends Himself. He doesn't simply hand you peace as a distant gift. He is peace itself. When He enters the room, fear cannot stay long. Even if your situation hasn't changed, something in you changes. Even if the voice of anxiety still echoes, a greater voice begins to rise within. I am your keeper. I am the one who is with you. I am the one who will never leave you. And when you begin to believe that voice, you step out of the grip of fear and into the safety of trust. Not because you became stronger, but because you know who stands beside you. That presence doesn't roar in like a storm. It often comes as a quiet whisper, just enough to steady a chaotic heart. Sometimes it's just one verse of scripture brought back to your memory. Sometimes it's a strange and sacred silence in the middle of the storm, but you know it's Him. And the moment you realize that, everything shifts. Fear isn't proof that you lack faith. It's proof that you need God. And God has never turned away someone who came to Him trembling. He doesn't need you to prove your courage. He just wants your honesty. So even in the middle of your fear, you can still say, "Lord, I'm here. I'm not strong, but I choose to trust you." That is a beautiful prayer, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. And your God hears every word like that. He steps into every space you invite Him into, even the ones where you feel most fragile. So if this morning you're feeling afraid, know that you are not alone. No one is condemning you for being anxious, but you do have a choice. You can let fear have the final word, or you can let the presence of God redefine the reality you're walking through. When you choose to trust, everything might not become okay instantly, but your heart will begin to find stability, and His presence will do what no person or circumstance ever could. It will guard your heart with peace that surpasses all understanding. There is one crucial truth to carry into your morning. It's that you don't have to strive to be worthy of God's presence. From the moment you open your eyes, He is already there. And before you even whisper a prayer, before your thoughts align, before you live one righteous act, you are already welcomed into the arms of grace. Romans 5:1 reminds us, we have been justified by faith. That means you are not accepted because you've done enough, lived perfectly, or prayed long enough. You are accepted because you placed your faith in the one whom the Father sent. And it is that faith that opens up your day, not based on human effort, but grounded firmly on grace. This morning, If you feel unprepared, not strong enough, not good enough, know this: you can still enter into God's presence. You don't need to clean up your heart first. Come, and He will do the cleansing. You don't need to pretend to be okay in order to be accepted. You just need to come honestly, and He will embrace you exactly as you are. This is how a child of God begins their day, not with the pressure to impress, but with the assurance that they are already loved. And from that place of love, everything else becomes possible. If you've ever felt the burden of perfection pressing down on your heart, the thought that you have to get everything right in order to have a spiritual day, please let that weight fall off. That is not a burden your Father placed on you. It is He who is inviting you to lay it down so He can carry it. He hasn't called you to Him to evaluate you, but to walk with you. And this morning, you don't have to earn the right to start your day with Him. You simply need to come. The very act of turning to God in surrender and trust is the most sacred way to begin. Maybe you've started many mornings in a rush, burdened with guilt, or carrying a long list of spiritual to-dos. But today, try beginning differently. Not with yourself, but with Him. Not with what you think you must do for God, but with what God has already done for you. Let His word be the first thing you reflect on. Let His presence be the first place you rest. And let the righteousness He freely gives you become the foundation upon which you live, and not something you try to build on your own. I don't have to try to earn my Father's love. I just have to dwell in the love He's already given me. That's the quiet whisper you can speak to Him this morning, and He will respond with a peace you cannot find anywhere else. When you begin your day not in striving but in grace, you walk not by trying to hold your faith together, but by resting in the truth that He is holding you. You don't walk away from your time with God like someone who strained to meet a standard. You walk away as one marked by the Lord. You are mine, and today I go with you. In John 20:21, Jesus spoke to His disciples after the resurrection, saying, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I also send you." This wasn't just a gentle encouragement. It was a divine commissioning. And today, that same voice reaches you, the one who's starting your morning, not just to survive, but to step into purpose. You have not been left to wander in this chaotic world. You have been sent. You may not feel like someone who's been commissioned. You might be at home, in a repetitive job, in a role that seems small, but that doesn't change the spiritual reality. You are not here by accident today. You carry the imprint of the kingdom. You are sent into a world hungry for light. And this morning, when you gave your first minutes to God, it wasn't a conclusion. It was your starting line. You don't leave prayer as someone without direction. You walk out carrying His presence. You are sent to reflect something far greater than yourself. No microphone needed, no platform required. Your life is the message. Your patience speaks louder than sermons. Your kindness becomes a testimony. Your quiet strength in hardship becomes a spiritual lesson for those around you. And if today you feel like you're not special enough for God to use, remember this: He often uses the most humble things to accomplish the greatest works. People like Moses, with faltering speech, like David with bare hands and a simple stone, like Stephen with forgiving eyes in his final breath, and like you, the one who is offering this morning to the Lord with an honest heart. You are not walking into this day alone. The Holy Spirit walks with you. You don't just carry belief, you carry power. You're not just holding on to hope for yourself. You're planting it in others through every glance, every word, and every peaceful presence you leave behind. God hasn't given you peace just for you to keep it. He's given it so you can carry and share it. So if you're walking into a high-pressure environment today, know that God's peace didn't stay behind at the doorway. It walks in with you. And that presence is what sets you apart, not to make you proud, but to make you serve. Begin this day not just with prayer, but with awareness. You are being sent. Every conversation is an opportunity to show love. Every challenge is a moment to demonstrate faith. Every disappointment is a chance to choose forgiveness. And every step you take leaves traces of light in the dark. Nothing is small when it's placed in God's hands. No moment is ordinary when you live with purpose. You were not sent to do something great, but to fully live out the call of the one who sent you. Maybe today no one will compliment you. No one may notice your efforts. No one may say thank you, but heaven sees. And the one who called you is the one who will reward you. No one can strip away the worth of someone walking in the Father's commissioning. You're not lost in the crowd of a rushing world. You are positioned. You are seen. You are sent. Not to prove anything, but to live from your true identity. Chosen. So today, when you step out from prayer, walk like someone carrying life. Walk like someone who isn't wandering, but entrusted. Speak, think, act, and live like one who's been sent by the one who said, "As the Father has sent me, I also send you." You are not abandoned. You are sent with peace, with the Spirit, with purpose, and with the unchanging love of the one who called you at the break of day. Lord of the early morning, the one who called me awake from the weight of my sleep, I come to you not because I am good enough, but because I know only you can make today truly matter. Right now, before I step into anything, I choose to begin with surrender. I pause. I take a deep breath to remember that even this breath is not my own. It is a gift from you. And if my very breath comes from you, how could I possibly live rightly without you at the center? Father, today I place in your hands not only my big plans, but also the small, unnamed things. I give you every conversation that will happen, every decision I'll have to make, every word I'm going to say, every reaction I might stumble into. I give you each appointment, each person I'll meet, each surprise that may come my way. Everything I lay it under the loving authority of your will. Please go ahead of me. Lord, please touch my mind before anyone else does. Take the first seat in my thoughts before the notifications, the news, the words of others. Guard me from scattered thinking, from the pressure of comparison, from the quiet voice that whispers, "You're not enough." Instead, whisper heaven's truth to me. You are mine. I love you. I lead you. I will not leave you. Clear my mind, Lord. Make me steady, not rushed, not defensive, not driven by outcomes. Let me think like Christ. Let me see others through your eyes. Let me speak words that lift, not tear down. Help me discern what holds eternal value and what is just noise dressed up as urgency. Father, I give you my heart with all its spinning emotions. I don't want to live ruled by how I feel. Calm the quiet wounds I still carry. Heal the fears I've grown so used to I think they're part of me. Give me a soft heart not hardened by pressure, not closed off by disappointment. Fill me with mercy so I can forgive, joy so I can live authentically, courage so I can love even when I'm not loved in return. Keep my heart from growing cold. Teach me how to cry when it's right, laugh when it's true, and be still when you are speaking. God of wisdom, I entrust my steps to you today. I don't want to walk according to emotions, but according to your leading. Show me what comes from you and what is a false calling. Give me the courage to say no to what pulls me away from you, and the courage to say yes to what requires faith to enter. I know there will be turns, invitations, and decisions today, and I won't always know which is right. But you do. Be the wisdom in my soul. Be the whisper that gently pulls me back when I drift. Be the peace in my spirit that affirms when I'm walking the path you've chosen. God of life, I lift my family to you. Those I love, please hold them. Protect each loved one not just from outward harm, but also from the silent burdens of the heart. Heal the strained relationships. Mend what's left unfinished. Let my home be more than calm on the outside. Let it be full of your presence within. Give husbands and wives respect and understanding. Give children wisdom and reverence for you. Give peace and strength to my parents. And if there is anyone in my family who doesn't yet know you, let today be one step closer to your light. Lord, my provider, I lift up my work, my finances, my responsibilities, and the tangible burdens I carry. Grant me diligence, but also soul-deep rest. Teach me to work not to earn worth, but because I already have it in you. Open the doors you have chosen for me, and close the ones that are not from you. I don't ask for riches, but I ask for enough to live generously and give freely. I don't seek fame, but I ask for perseverance. I don't ask to be above others, but to be a faithful servant in the portion you've entrusted to me. And finally, Lord, I ask to walk today with a soul that is free, not chained to yesterday, not trembling over what's ahead, not striving to be accepted, not chasing what is hollow. I want to live this day as someone who knows they are loved, guided, held, and sent. Pour out over me a joy that stands firm, my joy not rooted in circumstance, but in the unshakable truth that you are my God. Give me humility to listen, courage to obey, and faith to move even when I don't yet see. Today, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know one thing. You are with me, and that is enough. If today's prayer has stirred something within your soul, I invite you to leave a declaration of faith in the comments. Let it be a personal mark of your belief. Type these simple but powerful words. Lord, I begin this day with you. It's more than a sentence. It's a proclamation to heaven, to the earth, and to your own spirit that you have placed this day in the hands of the one who is worthy, that you are not walking through this day aimlessly, but with divine purpose, that you are not being swept away by the pressures of the world, but are being led by the peace of heaven. And when you leave that declaration, you won't be the only one encouraged. Your step of faith may uplift someone quietly reading through the comments with a weary heart. If you know someone who is stepping into a new day carrying a heavy load, please share this video with them. Maybe just one prayer, one verse, or one quiet moment in God's presence is all it takes to change their outlook and their path today. Never underestimate the power of a loving act. God can use you to be the very answer to someone else's prayer. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to click subscribe today. Not out of habit, but as a commitment that you will continue to choose to begin each day the right way, not alone, but within a community of hearts that hunger for God's presence each morning. Every video is a sacred appointment, and I believe you won't want to miss anything. God longs to whisper to your heart at the break of day. Before you leave this moment, would you whisper once more, Lord, I give this day to you. Let those words become the opening line of everything you are about to do. And as the day unfolds, you will see He truly has been with you in every smallest detail. May today be a day where you walk not in your own strength, but in peace, in joy, and in the unshakable assurance that you are never alone.